YouTube. It's TweakedBigfoot.
Hey, it's Schmicks, and you are listening to
The Third Floor.
So, Nick, how are you doing tonight, man?
Dude, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. You know, it's a good night. It's not too cold out. It's the fall weather hasn't hit here quite yet. It's pretty warm still with fall leaves, which is kind of nice. And I'm just in a good mood. I'm just having a good time.
What's not fall there? What's your temperature?
We had I think 19 yesterday, the day before.
Okay.
Because
we're sitting around 11 today.
Yeah, that's
we're a lot colder.
That's kind of what we're commonly at. I'd say 11 to 14 is where we're sitting usually, but we'll still have a high spike. But it hasn't snowed and it won't yet.
Yeah,
it probably won't till March. So
yeah, and to our American viewers, we're talking in Celsius, not Fahrenheit.
Oh,
so if you're thinking it's 19 Fahrenheit on Vancouver Island, you are incorrect.
Yeah, that would be what, negative 30 to 27. I don't know. I'm looking it up.
I think it'd be negative 10, wouldn't it?
I don't actually know how the math works. I just picked a random thing. 11 Fahrenheit. No, it's negative 11. You're right.
Oh, man, I was close.
I don't know how math works, so.
Dude, yeah, Fahrenheit seems weird to me. You guys in your inches and feet instead of meters as well?
Inches, feet,
Miles
circuses on Wednesday night, Tuesday night.
But you're doing good all around, you're saying?
I'm good, dude. It's a good day. I'm having a good time. How about yourself?
Okay, well, that's good, man. I'm good. The reason I'm wearing a toque right now and not my big headphones, I was gonna have a shower. I was actually standing in the shower, turned on the water, and it was really cold. And I was like, what? And sometimes our water heater goes out, and I need to go down there and reset it. So I figured it out. I just have to turn it off, unplug it, plug it back in, turn it back on, and then flick the thing till it resets.
Just play with it a little.
Yeah, just play with it a little down there, and
you're
it
good
turns
to go.
on. Yeah, that's how it goes.
That's how it works.
So I didn't end up having a shower tonight, so I really wanted to just hide all my hair, and I'll shower in the morning before I go to work. So might have a greasy night, but whatever.
Hey,
so other than that, I'm doing really good.
Nice.
Weather's okay, so it gets darker a lot quicker. So that's a little bit different, but it's a gamer hours, I guess, dude. Spooktober.
I love Spooktober. As of recording this, currently it's 7:45 p.m. in PST, Pacific Standard Time, and it's pitch dark out. It was probably dark almost 45 minutes ago. It's early now.
Yeah, it feels really weird because I never get that feeling of transition in August or September. It's all of a sudden it's really dark, and it just kind of snaps on. And Spooktober is coming up in 3 hours and 15 minutes for me, 4 hours 15 minutes for you. So it's about to get spooky.
It's honestly my favorite month of the year. It genuinely is.
It is fun. Yeah,
and not even because it's
come to like it too.
Oh, it's just the best. Not even, it's my birthday month. That aside, it's the weather's great. Halloween, fall, pumpkin spice. I'm just kidding. That's a negative.
Oh, dude, you're probably in the Starbucks lineups, aren't you?
No, I'm a wilder.
Okay.
But I also have a Keurig at my work, so I just drink coffee there.
That's fair.
Yeah. Well, dude, I'm glad you're doing good.
Thanks.
It's a new month. Who dis?
Yeah, man. And to start off the month, and also there's another thing special about today. It's our 10th episode.
It is our 10th episode.
We finally hit double digits in episode numbers for the third floor. So that's kind of exciting. This episode, we're actually going to be talking about our favorite single-player experiences in video games, at least so far for ourselves. And this doesn't mean our favorite game overall, because we're not including a multiplayer experience or an end game experience or any of those kinds of things. We're just talking about the single-player experience through a campaign or through a story mode. So I've got a few games lined up, and Nick's got a few games lined up, so we're going to get into it. And Nick, would you want to start us off by telling us one of your games?
Yeah, dude. But before we get into that, let's thank today's sponsor, Raid Shadow. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
No, ew. Yeah, dude.
Nor
the first
VPN.
game.
If you want to go on Netflix, no.
If you want to get Australian Netflix, check them out. Yeah, the first game I had on my list for best campaign, this is probably the best. Mostly campaign games because they're single player. Yeah. So number one campaign I've played has to be Destiny 2. Literally nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that game. Absolute masterpiece. 11 out of 10. Love it.
Episode number 10, we wanted to make sure that we could talk about Destiny 2 as quick as possible.
Just get in and out, one per video.
Yeah.
But for real, my number, like this is I mentioned it before. This game is the best game I've ever played in my life. It is. I honestly want to say it's my favorite game. It is so good to me. I can pick it up, play it, and cry every time. It's the new God of War from 2018. That good game pick. It's mind blowing how good that game is. Like it's at its core, it's like a story about a father and a son delivering ashes to a mountain because their wife has passed away. That's not like a spoiler. That's like that's the opening sequence. That's the game in a nutshell. You pick up the ashes, you go to the mountain, and you're done. But like
I heard there's I don't want you to talk about it because I've never played it, but I hear there is like a really epic ending that's just so like dramatic and it just grips your heart. So maybe that's what you're talking about with crying. Like I've heard it's really powerful.
I won't explain the ending, but like my girlfriend and I played through it a few months back during COVID, like the beginning of COVID, we played through it. And we played an episode, like just like I don't know, an hour long, and then we proceeded to beat the whole game in 5 days. Like we just got to play it. And she was so moved by the ending, she just cried. I didn't tell her it was ending, so it got to the end and she just cried. Like it was so good.
Just a powerful ending, hey?
Oh, I can't. Yeah, it's really, really good. Without saying anything else about it, it's phenomenal. But like beyond that, like yeah, it's the story of father son delivering ashes of a dead mom and wife. But at the same time, it's like their bond together. Like in the beginning, he'll call him like boy, and he'll do that near the end. But there's like more of an inflection to it, and there's more reason behind it. And like it's really cool to see how like they grow separately, but also grow together. So like playing through it and like all the trials they go through that bring them closer, and all the things they have to do. I got it for $20. Like I got it as a Christmas gift, and it was like $20 in like a bargain bin. I would fully pay $80 for it again tomorrow.
Wow.
That game, like, there's no DLC, there's no microtransactions. You pay $80 or $60 if you're in a different country, and you get your game, and that's it. It's incredible. The characters you meet really strengthen it. Like, you meet these weird, like, dwarf brothers and like a giant snake that's on the front of the game. Like, I honestly could go on for this game about hours. I could rave about God of War. It was so powerful to me.
Sounds like a review coming up on your channel, or what?
Actually, a potential Let's Play, but maybe. Yeah. Once Detroit Become Human is done, it might be my next Let's Play, because that game, like,
nice.
I could play it right now. So yeah, God of War.
I've heard it's like single player experience of like the year. Like it was a big game, and for PlayStation, it was a real hook. Yeah. And graphics look really good.
It's a really nice game. I have it just in 1080p, and it's gorgeous. Mm-hmm. So to see it in 4K would be mind blowing.
That's sick, dude.
Yeah, and it was against Red Dead 2 for Game of the Year, and I believe it won. It did win. No, it didn't. It lost to. No, it did win. Yeah, it won. Yeah, it won Game of the Year, and they were like, "Yeah, we're not going to do anything with it." Like, because normally Game of the Year gets DLC and stuff, and they're like, "Nope, we're just going to say we won."
Leave it as it is.
And I think that's perfect. It's a game that should never be touched. I'm so excited for the next one. I'm buying a PS5 when it comes out. I will buy a PS5 the same day I buy God of War 5.
Now that's good PR, man.
Yeah, like I literally, it is the best game I've ever played, hands down.
That's so.
That's my first game.
Okay, well, coming out of the gate, just with some fire. I don't know if I can match that, dude. Which one should I start with? I'll start with something that's like, to me, is like just a masterpiece, and I know a lot would disagree. They would put Ocarina of Time at the top, but from my perspective, I think Twilight Princess is like the coolest Zelda game. It looks so good. Well, not anymore, but for its time, it looked good.
It looked good, yeah.
Because like it was like basically Ocarina of Time just on like 2 consoles later.
Okay.
Or 2 console generations.
Was it the Wii? Yeah, it was the Wii.
It was on Wii, yeah. And so, I mean, it doesn't look that great now, but at the time, it looked amazing, and like the motion controls weren't too abrasive. It was designed for GameCube as well. So for a single player playthrough, if you're holding nunchuck and the Wii remote, it actually handled not too bad. There wasn't too many things that made you have to use it other than just like swiping for the sword. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't it just wasn't invasive like a lot of Wii games were. It was more focused on like the story and the characters and the weapons and the just the way the story arcs. I thought the temples were made really well, and I remember playing it as just a really dumb kid. I got it for Christmas, and it was my first Wii game, other than Wii Sports, of course. Everyone played Wii Sports. But
good single player.
Maybe that's what I should have picked. The Twilight Princess for me was that first game on that console that I was a dumb kid and I didn't know how to puzzle solve that well, so I had to learn really quickly. And this game had a really long tutorial section, but that tutorial section was so cool that I remember my dad sitting down beside me and being like, "Oh, like what's this?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's Twilight Princess." Sick. And he's like, "The Twilight Princess? Like what?" Like just sounds
kid's a nerd.
Yeah, like what does that mean? Right? Yeah. And then I'm like, no, it's Zelda, and then that's like the subtitle is Twilight Princess. And he's like, "Oh, okay." And so he sits down and watches, and like seeing me like herd the goats in this little village called Ordon Village, if you've played it. It was just like, he was like, "Man, like this game looks really cool. It's like you're on a farm and you're running around." Eventually, of course, Zelda turns into this big action game where you're running around. Yeah, you're going to all sorts of different places, but it was a really cool game that grabbed me, and I confessedly haven't even finished it yet because it's such a big game. I took my time and tried to 100% a bunch of times, and I've never actually finished the campaign itself. I got to play it. But yeah, that game just really gripped me, and so that's a single player experience that like I can always go back to and play.
Okay, I love that. I'm not a huge Zelda guy. I played like probably most of them. Like I played Wind Waker a bit. I played Ocarina of Time a bit. I played the Breath of the Wild. I actually beat Breath of the Wild, and it was okay. But Link's Awakening was a sick game. That one was incredible. Yeah, that was incredible.
That's a weird pick, but nice.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll take your word for it. Zelda for me is like,
I can see why it's not everyone's grab.
Yeah.
A lot of it's nostalgia for me too. There's no denying that. I just like a single player experience that has a really good story, and that one had that light and dark. Like there was Twilight, right? This realm that was taking over, led by Ganondorf, of course, like every other Zelda game. And it was just the right kind of story for someone like me that was not too into Zelda, but just knew enough about it. Okay. So really cool game.
Okay. Honestly, it's one of those games I've seen playthroughs of, and I will probably never play it, but okay.
It's honestly a fun game to watch.
It is, yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, maybe one day I'll watch it, more of it, but dude, that leads me into what could probably be like the polar opposite of Zelda. Like when I think of like Zelda, it's like a really sick like action RPG, but it seems like peaceful a little bit. Like it's not like chaos and bullets everywhere. My next game is Borderlands 2.
That's chaotic.
Oh, dude, I think that's a game like everyone's at least played once. I know like Borderlands 2 for me is a game I can genuinely, just like God of War, but even more so, like I can pick it up literally whenever. Like I own Borderlands 3, I have all the DLC for it, and I would still rather play Borderlands 2. Something about that game, like the Vault Hunters were sick, all 6 of them. The characters were awesome. Handsome Jack is one of the coolest villains I've ever seen in my life. Like he is a cool villain. So to think like this crazy action loot shooter RPG was like, it was such an improvement from Borderlands 1, which was good. It was a really good game. But Borderlands 2 gave you so much more freedom. Your characters talked. It felt more interactive. Jack really pulled it together. Like something about that game, like I will always go back to it. I beat it. I got all the DLC. I did all the quests. I got all the achievements. Like for lack of a better term, 100% of that game. And like it's still something I'll go back to this day. Like when we talk about nostalgia games, like we did a few episodes back, that's a game I should have talked about because it'll always be nostalgic for me. And like I can go pick it up. I can pick any Vault Hunter, any play style, and be like, I will enjoy this. I will full on enjoy this, and I will go and I will play it to its extent. And I don't know like why. Like I played the original and it was amazing. I played the second one and it was amazing, but it just stuck with me. Like maybe I was at the right age. But...
I think like I'm pretty limited in my knowledge of Borderlands, but it seems like Borderlands 2 is almost like Assassin's Creed 2.
Yeah,
where it was like there was a really cool, like Assassin's Creed had the premise there and the mechanics. It just wasn't refined. And when Assassin's Creed 2 came out, this is actually on my list before I took it off because there was so many other picks. But like Assassin's Creed 2 nailed that experience. And so maybe that's what Borderlands 2 was. It had all the foundations set from Borderlands 1. And then the second one refined it. And like you said, more customization, more your player could talk and people could talk around you. Like that kind of stuff. When a game gets refined in a sequel, it makes it so fun to play through. Because then it's almost like you're replaying the first one, just in a way better version.
And like, I usually don't play through games multiple times, but this was like an odd exception where I have beaten it 5 or 6 times.
Holy
and it's
crap.
Just good. It's a good game. You can speedrun it pretty fast. I choose not to. Like, I just explore it, take my time. And it had a weird bonus where, like, not a bonus. Like, the bonus thing was that it had 4 DLC packs that all slapped. Like, every one of them is good. Like, the third one, which is the Hammerlock Hunt, is like weaker, but it's still a good DLC. Like, it's fun, it's enjoyable, and like all 4 of them were killer. So for somehow like this little game, this like, well, not little game, this AAA game that like was like a weird niche kind of thing. I think it wasn't super huge, blew up. I just don't remember it being huge.
It's like a modern classic at this point.
I think. Well, they keep remastering it. It's kind of like Skyrim, where they put it on everything. Like, it's on Switch. It's on PC. It's on Xbox 360. It's on Xbox One. It's probably go to the Xbox Series X. They just like throw it on everything, and it's like a game I would rebuy. If I got an Xbox Series X, I would buy it again just to play in 4K.
Wow, well, you're dedicated, dude. You're in.
That game, I love it so much. Actually, I have a Harry Potter tattoo here. I want to get the Borderlands symbol on this hand. I probably won't because it's a little more. Big. It looks like the Anarchy symbol, so it's like, but
a little sketched.
Yeah, that game is so special. So
well, I can kind of follow that up with something similar. Not in a lot of aspects, but in the aspect of like a really action-oriented shooter. I really got something out of Gears of War. The whole series was cool, but the first one is what really grabbed me. And kind of like Borderlands, it's like goofy characters, but they're in like a serious situation.
Yeah.
So it's kind of bizarre. Like for Marcus Phoenix, he's pretty serious, but then you have oh my goodness, what is his name? He's like the football player.
Oh, Coltrane. Coltrane.
Yeah. So like you have like this serious thing where like Alpha Squad's trying to find Delta Squad, and like they're trying to get back together so they can like figure out how to get through this. Yeah. And it's this serious tension, but then there's this guy that's just a complete goon that's talking about like almost making it like a sports game to like kill the locusts. And I found that first campaign so powerful, the introduction to them. Like years 2 and 3 were awesome, don't get me wrong, but I think the first one really nailed it for me because it was the fear of like, what are these greasy things? And you probably remember very well the Mad World trailer way back. And
is that the original?
Yeah.
Oh, that was my goodness.
Gears 1. And like I wasn't even like a 360 owner at the time, and I was like, holy crap, like I gotta go over to my friend's house and play Gears, because I remember seeing what are they called? Like the big thing that you have to use the
worm thing?
The Hammer of Dawn. Yeah,
I always call them spiders.
Yeah.
But that's not what they're called.
Oh shoot.
Let's find out.
Anyway.
I got a tab open.
Yeah, if you want to check that out.
Yeah, keep talking.
So that because that trailer, I remember seeing that, and like the to me, I almost linked the trailer in with the story because it was so good, and it's like world renowned for being one of the best 360 trailers that ever came out.
I would say it's probably up there for sure.
Yeah, and like I don't know if that song would be popular if like the song's like a TikTok song, like it's popular, people use it all the time.
Yeah, right.
And I don't know if it would be popular without a huge game like that using its music, which made perfect sense. It is a mad world, and Marcus Phoenix is running through here, and the guns are cool. It's really gory. Mm-hmm. So as a kid, it was like, holy crap, I'm gonna slice this locust in half with a chainsaw gun. That's pretty cool.
Reavers. They're called Reavers.
Reavers. Yeah, I was gonna say Reapers, and I'm like, that's not right, but I was close. So yeah, Reavers, these giant things, and in the trailer, it's just like it's about to come down and crush them. And yeah, it's like a horror shooter, but it's not at the same time. The first level has like skinned bodies where you like open up the closet and like you're just trying to figure out what's going on. And I think I liked the first one the most because of the mystery, and like it felt a little more horror-y. When your first berserker encounter, I don't know if you remember that. I'm like, no. As a kid, I remember the berserker, the thing that can't like see, but it can smell you and hear you. Like I almost pooped my pants. It was so fun.
I don't think. Good.
No, that's what were you gonna say?
I don't think that's the one with Ram in the end, right? I don't want to spoil the ending, but it's a 14-year-old game, 14-year-old game. You should probably know. General Ram's the boss, right? I don't think I ever finished that one. I think I might have. I remember the fight, kind of. You're on a train, right? Or is that the Locust Queen?
Yeah.
Train?
No, you're right. It's on a train, and it's like, it's this really like, it's a sick place to have a final boss battle because you're on a moving platform, and the story is arcing towards it coming to a tunnel that you need to get off the train quickly before it ends. I think start to finish, it's so cool, and it's so like the story goes right alongside with the action, so that it's almost seamless out of cutscenes. And a game like that, it's just for a single player experience. It's really good. If you want to play a co-op game just with another buddy, amazing experience. It is such a good 360 game.
I think eventually they're going to have the Marcus Phoenix collection. I truthfully think it'll be a thing.
The MFC.
MFC.
It'll be the MCC and the MFC.
I would buy that, dude.
I would
love that.
I probably would, especially if they had all the multiplayers.
Yeah.
Like if they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Holy crap! Oh, and Judgment.
I never played Judgment I played bits of 4, but I didn't play 5, and I never played Judgment. But I played
actually halfway through Judgment.
Oh, sick!
I just haven't finished it.
Oh, okay. That game. I think I've played the original. I for sure played it. I have played it, but I don't remember in a long time. Sorry, I just need to respond to a quick text from my landlord.
Oh, no problem.
But I will talk while I do that. I just remember that game being like unique and like pretty sweet, in the fact that like it was this weird like horror shooter that like kind of blew up, and it was like unique in that aspect, you know?
Yeah, put Epic Games like on the map as a AAA developer, and now we know Epic Games as the creators of Fortnite. So if you do play Fortnite, which apparently Nick's been grinding lately,
just a little bit.
Really funny to hear about the battle pass of all things. So if you want to play Fortnite, go check out Nick on Xbox, TweakedBigfoot.
Yeah, please. I might break our one golden rule about YouTube, and those we're never gonna make Fortnite videos. And I'm like, I might.
Greasy, dude.
You're
on your own. I'm out.
I have like 2 monitors going on.
No, you're good.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, something about Fortnite. That's not a single player experience I'm going to talk about, but Gears of War was phenomenal. I want to say I played it. 2 was incredible. 3 was great. I can talk about this games all day long.
Well, and notice the similarities between Fortnite and Gears of War. Third person. Yeah. The hitboxes are pretty much identical, and then instead of hiding behind cover, you make your own cover in Fortnite.
So realistically, Gears is just a weird, darker Fortnite.
Yeah. Or you could think of Fortnite as a happy version of Gears.
Yeah, you're running around in Gears of War, and freaking Tomato Man pops up with his little AK.
That's right.
Killing people.
Maybe Fortnite is what happens when you take hallucinogenic drugs and play Gears of War.
Yeah, it's in Dom's mind. Whoa.
Yeah, dude. Wow, that's actually deep.
I'm into that.
I'm 14, and that is deep. Wow. Okay, you're up, dude. What game do you want to talk about?
Here's a game that's like not super popular, I don't think. Like I played it, and Dakota played the crap out of it. We both did, actually. We both might have got all the achievements in it. I think we did. Because we played the original on the original Xbox, and I played it on PS2. And it was Mercenaries 2. Have you ever played that game?
I have played it.
Okay.
I remember playing at a friend's house co-op, and like it was a cool game.
It's weird. It's kind of like Just Cause. Like you can blow things up. Everything's destructible.
Yeah.
But like it's really weird. I remember Mercenaries 2 having like the cool cast of characters again, being like a cool tropic setting, and I like did research to find like where the best guns were and like where the unique guns were, and like it was weird. We both played it. Like, Dakota liked it so much. He played it at my house. He liked it so much he bought it. I'll never forget the salesman. It was a T for teen game, and I was like, I don't know, 14 at the time. Mm-hmm. And the salesman's like, well, there's some shooting of people, and like in my household, we would allow it because it's aliens, or if it's aliens, but because you're shooting other people, I wouldn't sell this game to your son. I'm like, it says T for teen. I'm a teenager. Like, so I almost didn't get it, but it was just weird. You get to play as the 3, I almost said Vault Hunters, 3 like mercenaries, and I don't think the story pretty much deviates depending who you pick. Like, there's probably different voice lines, but that's about it. But you had to like get faction. I think if I remember correctly, you had to like get faction stuff done, and like you could like go around and like take cars and like real weird and fight for outposts. I haven't played it in so long because it's not backwards compatible, and I'm not gonna go buy it again. I own it. So it's a game I haven't played in forever, but I remember the story being so good, and I really cared about capturing bounty targets and going after these like weird faction missions and defending them and like building up your reputation for factions because you got unique rewards.
Mm-hmm.
And it was super weird. Just like in the first Mercenaries, imagine a deck of cards like 52. You could take down like each major faction in Mercenaries 1 was like clubs, spades, hearts, diamonds. And you can take out like the ace of diamonds, which is the biggest guy, right? Or is the lowest, depending how they flipped it. And it was like uniquely weird. And that carried over to the second one when there's bounty targets and stuff. And I was like, dude, this game is sick. It was like a budget GTA almost. You can just do whatever you wanted. And like
I have such faint memories of that game, but like
yeah.
I'm kind of remembering what you're saying because I remember watching it more than anything because my friend had an older brother. So of course we watched the older brother play on his profile. And it was very like it was a really quirky game. It reminded me of like it almost set the stage for a game like Army of Two.
Yes.
It was like this mercenary style thing where you go and like complete a certain bounty, like you're completing this one mission that's your assignment as a mercenary.
Yeah.
So I have faint memories of it. It kind of reminded me of like I think it probably would have came out around the same time as like Time Splitters and Time Splitters 2.
I think it did,
I don't know if you remember those games.
I
So it's one of those kind of kooky shooters. It was like just out of nowhere. But yeah, so I do remember it. It's an interesting pick. I didn't see that coming out of you.
Yeah, no, I was just like thinking about games I loved, and like I love this. So I'm looking at screenshots and like reviews for it, and people are still like, "Dude, play this game." Like the soundtrack was sick. It was like, "Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, you didn't." And it's like these guys rapping like, "Sucker tried to play me, but he never paid me, never." Oh no, you. And it's just like weird.
What a game, dude. But like, it's actually so to left field. It's like a memory of a taste you had when you were a kid. You just can't put your finger on it.
And it's a game like people are saying like, "Okay, best game of 2019." That's definitely not true, but like it's good. I think it's a game people should play. And if like I can get it on sale, it's not that expensive. I'm just a cheap person. The company that made it was Pandemic, and they're shut down. But like, it's. It's good.
You said best game of 2019.
Yeah, this review on Google says, honestly, the absolute best game of 2019. I'd recommend it mainly for people between ages 15 and up. It's got insanely good graphics and amazing optimization. The game also has a wide variety of options and customizations, perfect for anyone.
I'm confused. For Mercenaries 2?
Yeah, so it's old. I feel like someone was just playing it, and then they're like, this is the best game of 2019.
Oh, okay. Because like, what? I was just going to say two things real quick. First of all, the guy that was going to sell you the game, he can have some moral imperative if he wants, but if the game's T for teen and you're 14, sell the kid the game.
Yeah,
like how stupid is that? It's not your business, really.
It was very
like
dumb.
If you run your household differently, that's good for you. But
yeah,
if it says T for teen and you're over 13, or if you're 13 and up, they can buy the game.
Let me buy it.
Stupid. Number two, do you remember playing Time Splitters where the deer came out of like the wall? Do you remember what I'm talking about?
No, I never played it.
Okay, so I'll say it really quick just because it came up. There's one part where there's like a deer head on a wall.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, the whole deer body like comes out of the wall like from behind because you could just see the head, right? And all of a sudden, the whole deer's out, and it's like this genetically modified deer that's attacking you. Like that was a level in the game. Like it was so stupid.
I'm into that.
And I love dumb shooters like that. Dumb shooters are so funny, dude.
Okay.
They're sick.
I'm into that, dude. That's a game to me that I would play. It sounds like it was good.
Just goofy.
Yeah, right.
Mercenaries 2 probably wasn't as goofy, but just that goofy kind of like you were saying, the soundtrack, that just reminded me of it.
Oh yeah. New boot goofing.
I got a strange pick. It's a Game Boy Advance game.
Oh.
I was actually gonna say because I'm replacing a pick I had before. The pick I had was Metroid Prime 2 Echoes for GameCube, which is a phenomenal game, probably my favorite out of the Prime series.
Okay.
But my favorite Metroid game is Metroid Fusion.
Really? I played that one, actually.
Oh, so what do you think, first of all?
I played probably like 2 hours of it.
Okay, so you didn't beat it?
No, and it was like my first experience into like a Metroid game, but it was like pretty good. I'm not a huge Metroid guy, but it was good.
Okay, so the thing that's weird about it, it's so unlike other Metroid games because it gives you directions, whereas usually Metroid games say, hey, here's your area, you can go wherever, you can get whatever upgrade in whatever order.
Right.
Whereas Metroid Fusion kind of like has a led storyline.
Okay.
And I think that's why I like it. It's not just the single player experience of shooting and killing. It's like the actual story itself is so gripping.
Okay.
And it was my first Metroid, and
nice.
it's actually the last in the chronological order. It's technically the last Metroid in the timeline, and there's been a lot of Metroids since then.
No.
But it is so cool because there's this there's the main bad guy is actually you, because you got infected by the X. It's called the X parasite.
Okay.
Your suit gets put into like a cryo bay, which ends up turning like the X parasite then takes your DNA and becomes you. And it's so there's a bunch of so there's you versus this thing, and later on in the story you realize there's actually like 10 of these things that are cloned. So there's 10 of Samus's running around in this ship with you, and it's the storyline is so scary. It's like it goes down in history as one of those Game Boy Advance games. It's actually a horror game that's disguised as just like a sci-fi adventure, but it's literally like Alien, like the movie Alien. It's terrifying. So if you want to play a really scary, story-driven Metroid game, pick up Metroid Fusion. You could probably find it at a game store. If not, I guess try and emulate it. But if you can, go to a game store and buy it. You will not you, Nick, specifically, if you want to, but just our viewers.
Find it.
Game Boy Advance Metroid Fusion. It's a really good time. Even just watch a review on it, and you'll see how fear gets instilled, even though it's just a Game Boy Advance 2D scroller. Really sick game.
So what you're telling me is you're Samus, and there's a clone of 10 of you on the same ship?
That's right.
Are you sure you're not playing Among Us?
Yeah, maybe that's why I like Among Us so much, dude.
All right.
I love space. I love horror, and when you put those two together, you get Metroid Fusion. Get it?
Oh, I see what you did there. Love that.
It's so sick. And now, like, I've beat the game probably 30 times.
Oh, damn.
And I actually speedrun it, so I've beaten it in 40 minutes.
That's Metroid. Which one?
Metroid Fusion.
Sure, Fusion.
That's with no pickups, though. Like, that's an any %.
Okay.
So, and that's game time.
You said 40 minutes.
So real time would probably be like hour and a half. Real time. Game time 45 minutes.
Dude, well, I'm going to tell you something right now. I'm looking at speedrun.com. The fastest someone's beat it in game time is 44 minutes.
Someone's beat it in 44 minutes?
In game time.
Like, that must be...
Real time, an hour and 11 minutes. In game time, 44.
Okay, well then mine must not be 44. Mine must be like 50. Because I've timed myself at an hour and a half is when I beat it.
Okay. Dude.
Like in real minutes.
Even if you run that game, in 55 minutes, you're in the top 100 for speedrunning.
That's insane. Wonder if I should, like, I actually fly through that game.
Yeah, dude, you should record it.
Streaming. So, like, real time was at an hour and 11?
Hour and 11 is the fastest.
Okay.
And then the in-game time, so I'm assuming that's, like, without load, like, without times and crap?
Yeah.
Or without load times, yeah.
More like cutscenes. Like, there's a lot of, like, cutscene scroll text.
Okay.
Holy, so I'm only 19 minutes off the world record.
Yeah, right? Like,
okay, if I'm 19 minutes away, maybe I should check it out.
Even if you were going in an hour and a half, like flat, you're still on top, like 300 people in the world.
Holy crap. Okay,
I'm going to give it a shot.
I actually I love it, and like I have the whole map memorized at this point.
You should give it a shot then, record that, because like that's pretty big time.
I'm inspired. All right,
that leads me to my last pick, and this is like kind of a cop out, but like I'm going to count it, and I'll explain why. My last pick, well, I can go on forever about multiple games, but this game, it's something I've talked about forever now. But I'm picking Wrath of the Lich King from World of Warcraft. Like, so the game itself is World of Warcraft.
It's nerd time.
It's nerd time, dude. I like. Are you hard? Or is it? No, just kidding. Oh man, Wrath of the Lich King, like that expansion. I also could have gone with Mists of Pandaria, because like I didn't play Wrath of the Lich King. It was current. I did, but not on I played on a legal service, like on private service. I played Pandaria and it was current. Both those things were great. But like Wrath of the Lich King flipped WoW on its head. It introduced like Northrend, arguably the best villain ever to come out of World of Warcraft. And probably if you looked up a top 10 list of video game villains, I'm almost sure Arthas would be in there. And he was the villain. He was the Lich King. The story for that whole segment was gripping. It talked about how Arthas, the Prince of Lordaeron, like the royal Prince of Light, he was a paladin, was becoming a devout follower of the light. and of someone else who I forget, like went to the dark side. He slaughters like a whole village. There's a whole village called Strathholm. Yeah, Strathholm. That's infected. So instead of like waiting for aid, he's like, no, let's just kill them all. And he like kills a whole village and it turns into a sick multi-part dungeon. And then you like in the campaign for that, you get to like go through his memories and like play as him in memories or play with him in memories. And like it was sick. Like everything about it. That campaign, not only I'll skip over like sections of a map, like, oh, like if I'm level 74, I can skip from here to here, you know, and like miss sections. I've played the whole campaign for that section on multiple characters. It's so good. The raids were sick. They introduced like these really sick raids. The dungeons were great. Like, man, so much cool stuff.
It's interesting that a DLC could do it too.
Yeah, right.
Like to have that much content that it would hit your list of like really good single player experiences. Yep. So that's a testament to like World of Warcraft's consistency with being able to like persist through making different DLCs that would still capture such a good experience after all those years.
Right? Like it was sick. Like, and I know it's kind of a cop out because like technically it's a multiplayer game, and you know I get that it's kind of a cop out.
Still a single player experience though, if you're talking about the way you experienced it.
Well, and I like have pretty much just played it by myself. Like I did play with people, but like I've played most of it by myself. And like I will continue. Like if I've always said it, and I'll say it again, that if they ever released like a private, like not like they did have a WoW Classic. If they ever did a WoW Wrath of the Lich King, I would play that. I would play that and probably get addicted to it. I'm looking
just
up
like
a
you
list.
Are to Fortnite right now.
Literally, dude. You wasn't Fortnite? Like, I'm just twitching. I'm looking up a list of like top video game villains. Games Radar has Arthas at 17. That's actually pretty low. I would expect him to be top 10. Like, I think he should be top 10. But I mean, I'm heavily biased. But like, it's one of those things where it's like I recommend it to people, but at the same time, you've got to go ahead and go play all the other campaigns. You have to get back there, and it's like. Yeah. It's a little much.
Yeah, it's not like it's an isolated thing. You can just go and experience.
No, you have to go and like actually play through it and get there. But, you know, I would recommend it. Like if you're ever playing World of Warcraft, that's probably one of the best, if not the best, things to go and play. Like, you know, especially for the time, what it did was so insane. Like, it really flipped it on its head. So
sick.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have too much to say about World of Warcraft because I just don't know much about it, but I'm very happy for you, dude. I know that was a jam for you.
Yeah, I have 30 days played on one single character, 32 days played on one single character. And that's like one of like 9 characters.
That's a big nerd out, dude.
I have played a few months worth of that game, which is honestly low in the grand scheme of things, but like that's a lot considering I haven't played in years. So that's all my games. Those are my 4.
Okay, I got one last one. Okay. And then I'll try to make it really quick. I talk about Halo all the time. I could have picked lots of the Halo games, but I wanted to isolate Halo Reach.
Yeah, okay.
I was so hyped for Halo Reach. It came out. I think I've told the story about going to Future Shop, getting the T-shirt and that kind of stuff. So I was so hyped about it. And I remember playing through it the first time and almost being confused because I had read some of The Fall of Reach, and it was totally different than the book. Eric Nyland's The Fall of Reach is vastly different than the game. Right. And it was okay. I actually really enjoyed the game, and so much so that each time I play it now, I enjoy it more because even though you know Reach is going to fall, it's always fun to like, well, maybe fun's the wrong word. It's like a tragic play that's playing out in front of you where you know they're going to die soon. Like, you know, Kat's going to get beamed, and no spoilers here. I mean, this game's old. You should play this for PC. And everyone dies. Like, hello, that's Reach. Except June. You know?
June, right?
Yeah, so June lives, or at least it appears that he did. And Noble 6, there's always speculation if he actually survived in the end when all those elites attacked him. So, just a compelling story. You know the ending already, but you just watch it unfold, and it's so tragic. It's a great story. So that's all I'm going to say about it. Best Halo for me personally, and the runner-up was actually ODST, because ODST is like, it was actually my first owned Halo game. The other ones I had only played at friends' houses and then got it later on. But ODST was my first. And so I remember playing it and just thinking, wow, I'm not a Spartan. I'm just an ODST. I'm running around with like a silenced Magnum instead of a regular Magnum. And it was so like spooky. So awesome game. I have a runner-up. an honorable mention. My honorable mention is Amnesia: The Dark Descent.
Oh,
that is a single player experience. If you want to shit your pants,
piss yourself,
and also throw up and piss yourself, play Amnesia: The Dark Descent. It is so fun. It's like there are parts that are like so disturbing and awful, and then there's so many parts that are just scary, like jump scares, and then there's also parts that are just gross, like just like what is happening, and so it's got it all. It's a really weird, there's no combat, you just run for your life, and it's terrifying. It's in an old castle.
It's weird.
You should check it out. So that's my honorable mention. That'll be a single player experience you won't forget. Nick, do you have any honorable mentions?
I do, but also really quick, so it's no secret, we met at college and we used to play this game on every Halloween. Yeah, and we would like shut all the windows, like board them up with like pillows and crap, so it's dark and you have the headphones on and you're like I remember we went to school with this guy, and I won't name drop him, but
I know who you're talking about already.
So literally, here I'll reenact it. Dude. So we're like, all right, dude, it's your turn. He sits in the chair. We turn the game on. He does this. Nope. And he put his headphones in.
He moved one little bit. He touched the mouse and like started to move, and there was like a noise immediately, and he's like, no. He just got up. He was out of there, man.
And I don't mean it, and like if he sees this, not a disrespect. It was funny. It was really funny.
It is a scary game, so like I don't blame him. I don't blame him one bit.
It's creepy. I do have an honorable mention, and it's actually like it might surprise Jared a little bit. My honorable mention is Halo 2.
Oh.
Yeah,
So I like to hear.
I bought an original Xbox, and a bunch of games, like a carrying case for like $200. Little did I know I could buy a 360 for like $250. So I was a little annoyed, but I bought it, and I
get a Halo 2 on a 360 though.
I can't, and I played Halo 2 so much. I played it through multiple times, actually. I didn't really play the first one, but I remember sitting in my room, and my mom came in and played through the campaign with me. Like, she just sat and watched.
That's kind of cool.
And, like, she was, like, throwing grenades. I was like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm playing. And I was like, no, like, give me my controller back. And we played through all of Halo 2 together. Go. Yeah, Sonya sat through the whole thing. And it was sick. Like, it was a good campaign. Like, when you take down the Scarab.
Yeah, oh, it's so sick. That's a sick mini boss, man.
Yeah, dude. And then the music comes on, like, da-da-da, da-da-da. And it had Blow Me Away by Breaking Benjamin.
Did you know that they didn't even want to get paid for that?
What? Really?
They didn't take any royalties. They didn't get paid at all. They said, hey, we just want to have our song in a game that's so sick. What? So they produced it and we're like, keep it.
That's unheard of. Dude, yeah. Good for them. Shout out. Go listen to Breaking Benjamin. They're actually pretty sick too.
Yeah.
Diary of Jane. Oh.
They're like the most typical like alternative rock early 2000s ever.
Yeah. I don't even think they're still around. Actually, they might be. But
I was gonna say,
that game.
How cool is it when you can be the chief for a while and then be the arbiter and see it from like that's what made it such a cool story. You saw it from both perspectives. You saw it from the UNSC side, and then you also saw it from the Covenant side. So then when those stories married together and you got to see the ending, which is very controversial, but it is a great single player experience.
Here's what I'm going to do one weekend because I have to uninstall a ton of crap to make room for it. I'm going to uninstall a bunch of games. I'm going to download Master Chief Collection, and we're going to play through all of Halo 2. Because, like, that campaign is so hard. No, tables lifting up. Like, that campaign, I remember hitting the black and the white buttons on my original Xbox to do crap.
Yeah.
And it just, like, was the first, like, shooter I really ever played. And I didn't really care about the multiplayer. Because I didn't have Xbox Live on an original Xbox. But, like, the campaign was just crispy. So
yeah, it was a huge improvement. Like, I still prefer Combat Evolved just because of the mystery. But
yeah,
as far as the improvements, the sequel had just way better gunplay. And you didn't have a really overpowered Magnum. You had to work with the battle rifle. And I don't know, I found the sandbox. There was the sniper jackals. They sucked. Like, you could get just beamed on Legendary. Other than that, though, it's a pretty sick game.
Yeah.
I was going to say I made a mistake. You could technically play Halo 2 on a 360 because it's backwards compatible. So I guess if you would have bought the 360, you could have still got Halo 2. But
to play
you probably wouldn't have bought Halo 2 if you had a 360.
I wouldn't have.
Then we wouldn't be talking about it right now.
No, I also played like the original Fable on my Xbox, my original Xbox.
Oh, yeah.
That game was money. Like, so many good
the OG
games.
Fable.
It was good. Chicken Chaser.
We tried to do a bit of a shorter one this week because we had a long one last week. But we got hyped.
We get hyped talking about games.
Thanks for watching, everybody. If you would like, comment down below what you think your favorite game was, and just give some reasons.
Please.
Like, and if it's one of ours, you can agree with us, or you can totally disagree and be like, "What? Twilight Princess instead of Ocarina of Time? Are you kidding?"
Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, come on.
Yeah. So go in the comments and tell us what your favorite game is, and
please.
Next week we'll see what happens. We haven't pre-planned, but
maybe we'll talk about it.
Up to.
Yeah, there's so much more we can talk about for these games. I can talk hours, but other games are incredible.
Yes.
But like, this was good. Thanks for watching, guys.
And we have to go play Among Us. So
we are gonna go play Among Us. See you later.
Peace.